What's up, you guys? It's Genesis here. Welcome back, or welcome to my podcast, Genesis, where I'm your host, Genesis. For those of you that don't know, Genesis means the beginning, or a beginning to some. You guys, today's podcast episode is going to be a little chaotic. I think it's because I'm going through a manic episode, or because I've talked myself into talking about this topic so much that I'm just like, okay, full send. And I think I am going through a manic episode because I'm talking so fast, or maybe I'm nervous. I don't fucking know. Anyways, welcome to my podcast. You guys, so I want you guys to know that respectfully we cannot discuss names, okay? So we're not going to do that, but I'm going to give you context. So today's episode was inspired by the number 27. Why? Because I keep saying it. This is my second time recording this podcast episode. I think the first time I tried, I don't think I said things that I wanted to say, so I'm not even going to re-listen to it. I'm not going to edit it. This is my second try. Anyways, as soon as I sat down to record this podcast episode, I checked to make sure that my do not disturb was on, and it was 7:27. So I'm not making this up. 27 is chasing. What was I saying? Oh, my numerology number. It is the number 9. For those of you that don't know, 9 means the end and beginning to a cycle, new beginning. And some might say that it is your last life. I don't know if I believe that, but also I kind of do. I don't know. There has been a lot of endings in this age of mine. Also, I'm 27. There's no such thing as a coincidence. There's no such thing as a coincidence, right? The funny thing is that I'm more open. I am more receptive to endings. Not that I am like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, get out of my life. Woo! Just because I am open to a relationship ending. And I say that loosely. Relationship does not mean a romantic relationship. It also means friendships or connections, anything. Just because I am more open to the loss of those people, those connections and all that stuff does not make it any less hurtful. The chisme. Okay, so we're going to call this person Petra, okay? Because that's what we call him in real life. It was toxic, bitch. It was toxic as fuck. And I was reaching my breaking point. Listen, men specifically, if a lady puts up with your shit, there will be a point where she no longer puts up with it, okay? There will be a point. And you're going to regret it. Do you hear that? That is a message to all you fuckers that keep coming back into my life that I don't want. Yeah, I see you messaging me. You're being ignored for a reason. Yes, I see you friend requests. I see you following me. Fucking stop. Anyways, I digress. They're out of my life, and the way that they left my life, I had already anticipated that loss, right? Did it hurt any less? No, it fucking didn't. I made a whole ass TikTok. Oh God, I made a whole ass TikTok and I was crying because I was heartbroken, because I was open to the opportunity to actually love them as a person and not as just an idea. And they didn't allow that in their life. They missed out on a great opportunity to be loved by me. I'm sorry, but that is a loss within itself. The way that I let them exit, I let them come back into my life, and then they said this isn't going to work out. The same shit they always said, the same excuses they always said. I was like, okay, fuck off. And so I decided, because they weren't actually in my life publicly, and every time that they did make a public appearance, it was to humiliate me. You guys, you want to know something fucking sad? If you went to high school with me, then you know this. So a long time ago, I put on Facebook that I was engaged to this person. Like I said, if we went to high school, you know who I'm talking about. If you don't, here's the story. I was with that person long distance, and they said, if I don't post that we are engaged on Facebook, they're breaking up with me and never talking to me again, because that's how serious that they wanted to take me, right? We're engaged now. And supposedly it was a proposal over FaceTime. Anyways, I did that shit and I got broken up with anyways. Oh my God. Funny. The way that I processed this exit this time was, so I decided that it was no longer my responsibility to carry the memories. So what I did, I ripped out every journal entry, every single one, even the current ones, all of them, everything, every card I ever wrote, everything, pictures, everything. Like, these journal entries were up until the point I decided I was no longer going to allow myself to write about them in my journals. And I mailed it to them And they love reading, so I pulled a bitch move. Not a bitch move, it was a good one if you ask me. I wrote on the thing, I was like, since you love reading, here's memories of something. I don't know. I was like, since you love reading, fuck you. I should have just cut my bangs. If I'm going through a manic episode, I should have just cut my bangs, if I'm being quite fucking honest, right? You guys? Okay. So, speaking of loss, 8:27 BRB. My camera's overheating. This is the only one I think that I really kept track about the numbers, because I was just so conflicted as to why they kept coming back into my life, and why I couldn't let go. Mind you, they weren't in my life for a huge portion of it, but they made efforts to be in my life. Okay. And then it turned into them actually being physically in my life. Do I regret it? Absolutely not, because had I not lived that situation, had I not lived that part of my life, I think that I would still be stuck in the cycle of not knowing how to let go. But for better context, this person would disappear out of my life whenever they felt like it, and then would come back into my life and ask to either be friends or just be buddies. I was trying to really practice forgiveness. My mistake was not respecting my boundaries. They would make efforts to come into my life by like making Instagram accounts and then like trying to reach out to me, or liking a picture from years ago and not contacting me with words. And it was just the weirdest thing. And between you and I, he admitted to doing brujeria on me. But yeah, he admitted to it, and would purposely do things and go out of his way and say things. And yeah, it was just a lot. But this last time that I let him back into my life, I was open to possibly trying, because I was like, fuck it. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work out like every other time. For those of you that don't know, I had a roommate who ended up moving out, and I can't give you exact context as to why their behavior changed towards me. I feel like I made my attempts to ask, and my questions were not answered, and that was just kind of the end of that. And I don't know if I'll ever get closure on that ending of that friendship. And she's been heavy on my mind. I wish her the absolute best. I want to beat her ass, but I wish her the absolute best. And I hope she is happy wherever she finds herself, but she really did hurt me regardless if I decided to let that person back into my life. I know that the pain that was inflicted on me is something that I don't want to allow any more room for. So that's what I mean when I say that I'm okay with losing people. I respect the fact that they don't want to be a part of my life, but I also will not beg or allow them into my life the same way as I once did. I know it's hurtful to have to let go of people that you don't want to let go of to begin with. Like breakups, right? Like when you break up with someone, that's not easy. And it's just as hard when it comes to a friendship, because you love that person unconditionally, but there has to be some condition to how you allow them to treat you. When it comes to losing friends too, it's really hurtful, but friends come in waves, you know, and I feel like friends that come in waves is amazing, because you get to meet all kinds of people and you get to learn more about yourself. I learned that perhaps maybe I'm a little too strict on myself, and it's pretty important for me to let go a little bit and be more colorful with everything, I guess. So that's a beautiful thing that I learned out of that friendship. And I learned a few other things, but nonetheless, that doesn't change the fact that I want to beat her ass. I haven't talked to her. I don't know where she is, but like I said, I wish her the best, and I wish that other person the best, and I wish every other person I've had a falling out with the best. Like, it's just, you know, it's life and it happens. Speaking of letting go and being open to letting go and releasing things that no longer are yours, I guess. I have a huge sense of something coming that's coming to an end. And it's funny because when you listen to your body and you listen to like your surroundings, you can feel it in certain places of your body. And right now I feel it here, like specifically here. And it kind of goes up my throat, but it's empty all here and then it's here. It's weird, but I sense an end coming, and I can't quite pinpoint what it is. And all I gotta say is I hope it doesn't hurt my heart too much, because I'm gonna fight someone. Power of letting go means also forgiving yourself for the mistakes that you made along the way. As you may know, I was in a 5-year relationship, and that was hard to process because I wanted that to work out so badly. Because everyone around me was in a serious relationship, married with kids, like my surroundings, my social media was all that. But I forgot that in the process of being in that relationship, I forgot that their path isn't my path, and I was forcing their path to be mine onto someone who wasn't ready for that. And that's my accountability for that. But letting go of that person and letting go of the expectations was really hurtful. It's the circle of life. There's loss, there's gain, there's loss, there's gain, there's loss, there's gain, which has helped immensely when it comes to allowing people into my life. I know a lot of you that watch my podcast enjoy my internal monologue. So I want to say thanks to that. But I also want to let you guys know that talking about personal things like this really scare me, because I'm kind of private when it comes to these kinds of things. And it's hard to want to make an impact online, whether it's very tiny or very, very big. It's very scary. So as I'm talking, I'm realizing that I've said so much of nonsense, and at the end of this, I don't know if any of it's going to make sense. I know while I'm editing, all I'm going to do is worry about the audio being aligned with the beginning, the audio aligned with any cut that I make, and the audio aligned to the end. So if this entire podcast makes zero motherfucking sense, bitch, let me know in the comments, please, so I can put it on private. Anyways, power of letting go means more inner peace for yourself. It means welcoming more opportunity to grow. It means more memories. It means possibly more tears, and that's okay. Does that change the fact that I don't want to fight someone? Absolutely not. It doesn't. It is what it is. Can we talk about the fact that I was literally canceled by Christians on Instagram? Being canceled on Facebook is one thing, but being canceled on Instagram is a whole different ballpark. A whole different ballpark, my guy. Facebook, I'm used to. Facebook, bitch, I'm pretty sure I'm on a lot of bitches' block lists. And they're on mine too, so it's... But Instagram... They were canceling me because Jesus didn't abort himself. He died on a cross. Okay, yeah, that's the fucking joke, my guy. He died for our freedom to choose. So let's talk about those assholes. Let's let this cool down for the 100th time. I think I lost about like 20-ish followers, but then I regained them all back with people that agree with me. Listen, guys. Abortion is healthcare. But if you want to bring God into it, how unfair and how un-Christ-like is it of you to force someone to have a child that, one, they cannot have, they cannot afford to have? Oh, but just put it up for adoption. Have you seen the adoption system? Are you that dense in the head? Yes, I'm talking to you. Respectfully, not respectfully, have you made any effort to do your research on the foster care system? And chances are that that child won't end up in a foster care system. They'll end up with a family member. And yeah, you could say, oh yeah, that's wonderful, they'll stay with family, but who's to say that that family member isn't abusing them? I know one too many children who are adults now who were abused by family. I think that abuse happens more often than statistically reported. I hate that we have to give like this incredible sob story. Like, why? Why does there have to be a sob story involved in my decision to abort if life starts at conception? Then what's going on with that lady that got a ticket for driving in the carpool lane? That's why I say it's stupid, because there is going to be a lot of backlash and a lot of things that are going to be reoccurring, like that situation that's happening right now. Listen, pushing your own beliefs on someone is not the way to go. It is not progressive, it is not helpful, and it is not healthy. So for you to say that my choice to give someone else the choice to choose is wrong makes me feel like you are a bigger hypocrite than I am. Like, I'm a hypocrite. I really am. But at least I can acknowledge it and try to understand where these people are coming from when it comes to that. Whatever their background is, whatever their story is, whatever it is none of my business. None whatsoever. And chances are insurance is not paying for that abortion. Do you guys know how that works? Insurance doesn't pay for abortion. Do you know how triggering it's going to be for women to have to immediately report a man who assaulted them to the police? Not only having to open up to that situation after such a traumatic event, but also being forced to show proof. Because we live in a society that forces women to show proof. If there is no evidence, then it didn't happen. Your case is non-existent. You have no case without the receipts. Do you know how hurtful that is to a woman? Like, I just don't understand. So what I want to say to you guys, if anyone who lives in Utah is watching this, like dead ass, you live in Utah, and you are more educated than I am, there's a huge amount of people that are far more educated than I am, which is why I feel like it's important for me to say that when I talk about politics, don't come to me to report on politics at all, ever, whatsoever. There are far more educated people that you can follow, that you could do your research, that give a lot more education in depth down to the nitty gritty. Okay. But anyways, if you live in Utah and you want to come onto my podcast so we could talk about this Roe v. Wade being overturned and the actual implications that it will have long term, then please reach out to me. I'm down to talk. I think my roommates have a chair downstairs. That's probably my biggest excuse as to why I haven't had anyone on the podcast. And also because my fucking picture frame fell off of the wall. This whole shit fell off the wall, which it probably is telling me to hurry up and finish my artwork for it and print it and frame it and stop being a procrastinator. But listen, I don't think that was a big enough sign because I still haven't finished my artwork. Yeah, I'm just gonna end it here. One, because I'm fucking starving, and two, I'm getting a little bit too amped up. And listen, it's just not Christ-like to force your fucking beliefs on me. It is not. And it's so un-Christ-like for you to want to force a child into this world because you're more obsessed with the fact that people can become, that you want these people to be underdogs. You want them to go through this immense amount of suffering to come out of the other side. Ooh, I'm strong. Look at me. I went through all of this trauma. In a country that offers shit-ass healthcare, that offers shit-ass minimum wage, that offers shit-ass housing. Like, you guys. Seriously? Right across the head. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this was enjoyable. Don't know what I said. I'm not going to redo this. This is one cut. My camera thought it would be funny as hell if it cut off from recording. I pray to God that last entire part of my video recorded. I probably should have checked before I hit record again. I don't know what I do with my life. Anyways, I want to elaborate you don't have to not only want to talk about Roe v. Wade. You could come on and talk about literally anything, any new projects that you have coming up, any small shops that you own. I want you to sit in my room. My room is really small, so if you're down to come onto my podcast and talk about literally anything, let me know. Hit me up. You guys know my Instagram, you guys know my Twitter, you guys know my Facebook, you guys know literally everything because you're fucking here. So anyways, before my camera shuts off again, thank you so much for watching, you guys. I truly, truly appreciate it. I will catch you on the flippity flip, and don't forget that your vibe attracts your tribe. Bye. Now I have grown a new leaf, and if you leave my life, good fucking riddance. I don't care.